I've met people that their first date was Pink Flamingos and they got married. And I've also met other people, the first date was Pink Flamingos and it was like Robert De Niro bringing Sybil Shepherd to the porn movie and Taxi Driver. So it's a good test. You can get right to the point. And Pecker's kind of my nice film, even though it has in it teabagging and singing Virgin Mary statues and all sorts of stuff. It is a movie that I haven't seen in a while, and it's one I like very much. People mistakenly believe that Pecker is autobiographical. Pecker was more of an outsider artist. I got Variety when I was 14. I wasn't naive. I knew which theaters I wanted to play in New York. But in some ways, the idea came from what did the little kid with the hand grenade in Diane Arbus's pictures think when years later that photograph sold for $300,000? What did and Golden's photograph, who she photographed him the whole time, and then she became very successful. She gave them all prints and all, and they didn't save them a lot, stupidly. So how do people react to sudden fame? And I had a little bit of it when Pink Flamingos suddenly became a hit. Everybody thought I was rich. Well, it was a hit at a midnight theater that cost $2 to get in, and if you went to the early show, you could stay and not pay. So nobody was getting rich then. It was a reaction to what happens to sudden fame, no matter what kind of fame it is or where it happens, how it affects people.
I wonder, are there films that came out before it or after it that you think maybe like tonally, thematically are doing similar things?
Nobody copied. If they ever copy me, they try too hard, and I don't even like those movies. You know, they just try to roast without being funny, or they have a drag queen. You know, drag queens are mainstream now. Divine did make all drag queens hipper, I think, because when I was young, drag queens were kind of square. They wanted to be Miss America and stuff. Now all drag queens have an age. They're good ones. At that point in my life, it had been, it came after I'd made Hollywood movies. Definitely, I signed a very Hollywood deal. I was in the Cannes Film Festival, and I pitched the movie to a producer, and we signed the deal on a napkin, like a joke of a cliche about something great. So it was a Hollywood movie at the time, and it got financed mostly in Japan because Eddie Furlong was a huge star in Japan. And still in Japan, they like hairless, androgynous men. Stars. Like Sylvester Stallone to them is the most hideous thing they've ever seen. They love Leonardo. They like fawns, kind of. That's what the movie stars are. So Eddie was a huge star there. It was amazing when I went there to promote the movie in Tokyo. They had big contests where all the young girls did Pecker photographs and everything. So Eddie really helped us get that film financed.
Were there films you watched or returned to in writing the script or through production?
I don't think when I'm writing a script, I'm ever looking at something unless maybe it's a period piece to look at camera moves and stuff, like when we made Cry Baby. I think Abe Inslee, we watched Elvis movies and that kind of thing. I don't get influenced by movies. I guess movies I saw in the past, I mean, I see every movie because I vote in every awards there is, so I'm conscientious. I do see all the movies. So I don't know that when I'm writing or directing a movie that I want to go watch another movie, especially if it's something that's similar to what I'm doing. Even if you hate my movies, you have to say they're kind of original. Like I did make art films for exploitation theaters, and nobody had really done that. Yeah.
I can't name one other film where I see rats humping. Not even Ratatouille.
But rats having sex, and we had to have a rat handler there. And I thought, what do we show them? Rat porn? How do we get them going? You know, do we show Willard and Ben and different rat movies? But eventually broke gate and just put them on top of each other and shook them from underneath. The old, most fashioned way to do a special effect. In Hollywood today, you'd have animal. Well, we did have animal rights people on the set. You have to. And let us kill a fly in serial number. We had to shoot it backwards when the fly swatter came down and then up, because you can't in any way harm an animal, which I agree with. So the rats having sex, yes, that was something that we had to ad-lib at the very end, and it worked completely. The most ridiculous way to do it, because we couldn't. The trainer was there, everything. How do you make a rat horny? I don't know the answer. The best rat movie ever is called Of Unknown Origin. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's the best rat movie ever. A guy that buys a house in Brooklyn to rehab it, and there's a rat in there that declares war against him, and he loses that war. I was growing up was a white, fairly raceless neighborhood, to be honest, and it's hipsters. It's completely the opposite now. It's Brooklyn. It's like hipsters. So we made it. It was about a blue-collar family that generally wouldn't have known a lot about the New York art world. I'm not saying that that's impossible, but he just went around and took pictures of his friends. But then he had a little show in this hamburger shop where he worked. And an art dealer happened to be in New York for something else and saw it and discovered him, and he became a big art star. That could have happened, especially in the 80s. That could have happened very much, you know. It was something in the art world, I like the complexity of the art world, the elitism of the art world. I'm all for. I think it's hilarious because you have to learn a special language. You have to learn how to dress a special way. It's magic. Or take a dirty old blanket like Matt Kelly and throw it on the floor and call it art, and it's $1 million 40 years later. That's magic. People say, my kid could have done that. Well, they should have, stupid. It's sold for a lot. So I like the art world and I participate in it. So it was the first movie I made that kind of satirized that. And all my movies satirize some kind of genre or some kind of world that I like. That's why I think I can be able to get away with those things. I make fun of things I like, not hate. I was just trying to have fun. I like both sides. I like the elitism of the art world, and I like crazy blue-collar bars in Baltimore. I like both. It's the middle where I've always had trouble. But now, today, with politics the way it is, I finally am in the middle. I reject the self-righteousness of the left and the closed-mindedness of the right. So I'm a middle-of-the-road maniac.
What would you like to say to the people considering coming to Flurry of Filth, or people who've already gotten tickets and are really, really excited for May?
Thank you for letting me get away with this. Thank you for making me. I've never had to get a real job because of you. And I'm not the filthiest person alive. You are.